What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Collecting is Fun, where I show you that collecting is fun. And today is a great day because this guy just showed up. Best Buy came through for me, and I finally have a Christopher Reeve Superman figure. McFarlane made this guy, and he looks way better than the production photos that we saw, where that torso cut was like awful. It was just so open, ridiculous. This guy looks way better. I hope he continues that look that I see right now when I take him out the box and actually move him around and see what that torso crunch is actually like. But man, so happy to finally have this guy. Best Buy, like I said, came through for me on the lowest price. I pre-ordered this thing when I had the chance from Best Buy, and it was only $22.99. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I also did a backup. You know, you got to do your backups. That's the great thing about pre-ordering. I did a backup at Amazon. And Amazon, right now, even on Best Buy, it's $29.99. But right now, Amazon, or not right now, but when I pre-ordered it, it was, what was it, 25? Was it something like that? Either way it goes, I didn't spend full price. That's what I'm trying to get to, regardless of all the details. So I actually spent only $20.48 on Amazon because I was actually able to redeem a $10 gift certificate or what have you, or a $10 credit. So that was great. So I was happy to save money. So whenever that one comes, hopefully that one will be the Chase variant. If it's not the Chase variant, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll just have to part with it in some way because I'm not keeping this packaging. I'm going to do what I normally do, and I'm going to cut this out. Be very careful when I cut this out because this is some nice artwork for the man who made us believe a man could fly. This man was a great humanitarian. He was all about trying to save people, help people out, man. I mean, I watched that Christopher Reeve story, and it had me a little teary-eyed, a little misty-eyed there because he was definitely trying to help other people out. And he got some backlash for some of the stuff that he was trying to do, but he was definitely for helping people with the same condition he was at, saying, you don't have to stay in this wheelchair. You do not have to stay like this. And he was making progress to get out of there. They actually showed his fingers moving to where he was actually kind of coming out of that chair, but it just didn't last that long. So it looks like he was coming out of the chair, but man, it just wasn't enough. His body was going through a lot, and it just didn't make it. So it was a sad day to have him leave us, but man, he left us something so beautiful. He left us this beautiful rendition of Superman that is still, to this day, still the standard. He is still the GOAT. Oh my gosh, still. People are still trying to recreate the feeling that this man gave us. So James Gunn is trying to do the same thing with David Cornsweet. Even though David Cornsweet, I mean, we don't know what he's going to do just yet. We've seen that suit. His cosplayish is all get out. Those baggy trunks, regardless if he keeps the trunks or not, they don't need to be that daggum baggy. They really don't. I mean, let's just be real. You have Christopher Reeve, whose suit fit wonderfully for that time period, and it just fit. Nice slender suit, slender design, cool. Dean Cain's suit even fit. Regardless of how you feel about that, how hokey and cheesy it was the product of that time. Even the Superboy show, that suit fit. Man, Brandon Routh's suit, that fit. Yeah? Who is it? Of course, Henry Cavill's suit fit amazingly, right? Tyler Hoechlin's suit on the CW, the Superman and Lois, one of the best Superman shows out right now, even though it has some frustrating moments. Still, the way they told that different story was pretty good. That suit is amazing. David Cornsweet right now is the only Superman that has a suit that does not look like it fits. And they need to really change that for the second movie. Those baggy trunks need to go. That suit is like, all right, this is your first time. That's what it looks like. This is your first time doing this thing. You need to get a suit that fits. And when you finally does get the suit that fits, then we'll have a good one. All this movie really needs to do is just be good. It doesn't have to be exemplary. It doesn't have to be wowing. It just needs to be good to continue the universe as it is starting from this point. But let's get off of that. Let's just focus on what this man did right here. The man who made us believe he could fly, or a man could fly. So here's the nice Collector's Edition packaging. Yeah, $29.99, $25. That's significant for something. $25. That's something else. I mean, I know it's like, you know, the number of this, but there's something else that's dealing with 25. I don't know. I'll figure it out later on. But yeah, the packaging is pretty nice. And you see the beautiful artwork. And there's the figure. So we're going to take this thing out, and I'm also going to compare him to some other Superman, which I believe they're my favorite Superman characters or figures that I have in my collection. So one moment. All right, here he is out of the packaging. The man, the legend is out of the packaging. And oh my gosh, this day is finally here. I finally have myself a Christopher Reeve figure. I did not get the NECA one. I wasn't trying to jump on any NECA version. Any, well, you know, you can probably go to Mercari or AliExpress or something to try to see if you can get one. It's definitely going to be a knockoff. But I was definitely not trying to pay like full price for something that's been out for so long or what have you. And even though it looks good and I would like to, and there's some folks that have done like a 3D image of 3D printed image of Superman's face or Christopher Reeve's face to put on various bodies, even though we haven't had like a good McFarlane body to do that with his face. You know, he would just be put on some other one because there's no other figure that looks like this. I mean, I'm going to show you the other ones that I have, but they don't have his slender design. But here's his card. Let's see what he has on the back. What do you got? All right, so let's just go ahead and read because it's Chris. Nice picture of Chris right there. Look at that. Let's see. Yeah, Clark and Kal-El from the doomed planet of Krypton. Two parents launch a spaceship carrying their infant son to Earth. Here he grows up to become Clark Kent, a mild-mannered reporter with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal man. That's classic. I like that. That's classic. That's definitely a keeper. I don't know. I might keep this in a special spot versus having it with the other figures, other cards. So let's take a look at the accessories here because you're just going to stand here and look good. Just look good. So we got the flying hands, of course. Nice flying hands, or no, double high five from the texting emoji, or some would say this is praise hands, but it's really the double high five, but you can repurpose it for whatever you want. Just like the Frosty, that Frosty emoji, but it's also associated with poop. Weird. All right, so then you have these grab hands. I don't know what he'll be grabbing, who he'll be grabbing. I don't know what that's about, but okay. Well, he's got grab hands. Put that over there. He's got the left grab hand and a relaxed right hand or left hand. Hold on. So this is a grab hand. This goes with this hand. This is the grab hand, like he's holding a beverage. You know what? You know, the Chase variant is the one from Superman 3 where he was a drunkard. Not a drunkard, but he was grumpy and he was at that bar kind of, you know, sipping down some drinks. Maybe this is the, I don't know, maybe the Platinum variant has a glass. I do have a bottle that I can give him, but I don't have the head sculpt for it, so that's not going to work that well. Okay, he's got a pointer finger. Who is he pointing at? I don't know. I don't know why we would point, but we got the pointer finger, and then we've got the relaxed hand. All right, so those are all the hands. And then this one here that is that is sculpted to hold the kryptonite crystal that was in his spaceship. This one doesn't hurt him at all, but it seems to hold all the various different knowledge. And it was the very crystal that he used to... Was this the crystal that he used to build the Fortress of Solitude? Yeah. And yeah, you would put this into the console, and then just everything would just come out. His mom, his dad, whatever. So that's very important here. I mean, I kind of wish it was just a single thing, but that's fine. We can have that. I don't know what I would do with him. I mean, this is his left hand, so he would just be putting it down. I don't have a console, so that would be the next thing to have. McFarlane needs to make a Fortress of Solitude diorama or a console or something where we can actually use that. That would be cool. All right, now let's get into the main event here. Christopher Reeve in action figure form, done by McFarlane. Let's take a look at the face. That's a nice looking face. Let's take a look at the other head where he is kind of more serious. Yike! Dropped his head, my bad, brother. Kind of more serious. So got some stuff on your head. All right, cool. And it looks like he put a little bit of the gray in his hair. I'm not sure where that comes from. Maybe from Superman 2, where he kind of lost his powers. I think maybe that's it, because here he doesn't have the gray. That right there might be a little mishap right there, because it should be all the way black, but that's a little. It has to be a mishap because it's not on that side. So yeah, they kind of messed up on that one. But yeah, nice blue eyes, and yeah, it looks like the one from Superman 2, but Superman 2, his hair was just a little bit more woolly, just a little bit more woolly, or out of place, I would say, because he was really trying to be mortal, and he gave up, and it just wasn't a good idea. Interesting. Okay, so now let's take a look at this suit, man. So the picture showed his ab crunch just, I mean, that torso was out there. That line was so far out. It was so ugly. But this is more recessed and closer to the body, so it looks way better. It's one of those situations where maybe it look better in hand, and it looks like it is better in hand. So here we are. Same typical deal with McFarlane double. Oh, that's kind of ugly. That's kind of ugly there. I don't see why you did that. But, you know, it's a double. What is that? What is that? Look at that. What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, so he's a Q-Dog now. What, Christopher Reeve was a Q-Dog? Wait a minute. We got a Q-Dog soup in there? We got a Q-Dog soup. Okay. So he's standing here as a Q-Dog soup. And, well, of course, his hand needs to be different instead of in a fist. But this is not nice. What is that? I don't think I've ever seen that on any other figure. That's ugly, man. Let me bring somebody else. Let me bring out Hush Boy out. Just because I want to just see this. Hush Boy has that. And then you bring him all the way up. And, ugh. Even Hush Boy don't have that. What the heck? Why did they do that to him? See, this is what people were concerned about when they saw that McFarlane was doing Christopher Reeve. That he was going to do something somewhere to kind of mess it up. And this here is absolutely unforgivable. I don't like that. That does not look good. I would not ever have him pose that way anyway. So he would always be looking like this. So regardless if he has double jointed elbows, that look right there is really what you want together, because that is not nice. But anyway, let's move past that. Smooth arms, because he had that slender look. He was muscular, but he didn't have like a lot of definition in his arms. Let's go ahead and bring Hush back out again. See that big arm right there? He didn't have that. So it's that 1970s design where everything was just a little slender. Still kind of holding on to the gladiator, the bodybuilder look with the whole trunks and all of that. But he just had that nice slender look that was just perfect for this particular character. Okay, then the S. The S is not like fully in the chest. The S kind of comes out just a little bit. That's cool. I like that. Then I'm going to bring Hush back out again because he's just next to me. So Hush, you know, he's out a little bit too. I think this one where the chest is, the S is kind of painted in on somebody. It's the Action Comics one. That's what it is. The Action Comics one is nice and shiny, but it's like in the chest, like it's painted on, versus this looked like it was kind of like pushed on, printed on, ironed on, something like that. So that's nice. I like the chest. Good classic S. Beautiful. It's not too shiny. It is as we see here on this particular art. That's cool. All right. What else we got? The back part of it, you're not going to be looking at too much because his cape will be there. I'm going to also showcase the important part of the cape in a moment. Best for last almost. All right, and here we are with the knees. The knees, okay, I don't think the knees don't look that bad. You know, it doesn't look that bad. I'm okay with the knees. It's a long leg, so, you know, McFarlane does what he does with these long legs that he gives these characters. And he had long legs anyway. Christopher Reeve had long legs. He was a tall dude. I forgot exactly how tall he was, but yeah, boots look nice. nice and smooth. I like that, man. They didn't have to do too much with the boots because it just had to be smooth. I like the design of the boots. Toe articulation, which is great. It's cool. Yeah, I'm not going to do too much with that. I can probably just heat them up, but there's not too much I want to do with your toe articulation. I'm not going to have him stand most likely. I'm probably just going to have him flying, being the GOAT that he is. Probably bring out, no, I'm not going to bring him out. I think I was going to bring out Michael Keaton, but that's all good. But yeah, he stands better now that I've messed with his knees. All right, and then of course he got the classic belt. Nice wrist, moves around. And we don't really need to change the hands unless we're going to put them into different poses. But that's not what we're here for. That's the boring stuff. We know we can change hands. And the head. We'll change the head too. And let's see. He can't look that far up. Look at that. He is stuck looking down. And straight up. And that's it. All right, he can look up that way. There it is. Looking for hope, for a better tomorrow, brighter tomorrow. There it is. Okay. That's all right. And then finally, cape, wire, cape. Cloth, wire, cape, so we can have some type of dynamic look of him floating or this thing flying in the wind. Not like that. You know, we can find some better ways to pose this thing. Okay. Better ways to pose this thing. He just, there. It's just kind of just flapping in the wind. He's standing on top of a mountain or whatever and just kind of just doing what he does. But then you turn around and you see beauty, beautiful S on the back, beautiful S on the back, beautiful S, excuse me, fellow, beautiful S on the back. This is classic. It is iconic. It is necessary for Superman to have the S on the back. Some people may not like it. They may not care for it. But this is absolutely what we have to see, what we want to see. We got to have that S. That S is iconic, man. It's beautiful, man. I know there are various iterations that don't have the S on the back, like the Buddy Superman here. He doesn't have it. But still, the Buddy Superman. That's what I call him because he's smiling. Like, whatever. So, it's a classic thing. We got to have that S. We have to have it. I mean, we don't really have to have it because Henry Cavill didn't have it. And matter of fact, where is he? I was going to bring him out. Okay, I know where he is. But yeah, so he didn't have it, but he was still good looking. But this is still classic. So whether we have it or not, this is still a classic, iconic look for him. And of course, he had that mug. It was brilliant. It was beautiful. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and take off this head and put it on. Put the other one on. Ooh, that came out easy. Okay, just make sure everything was good here. Do I ever have to heat you up? I don't know. They kind of gave him a little... Shh, not while we're boarding. Uh-oh. I don't want to do too much forcing. I really don't. Because if I break this peg, I'm going to cry. On camera. Alright. Rotator cuff trying to come out. We all know it goes all the way around. Yeah. Boring stuff, okay? Leg goes up. You know, we know it doesn't have to go up that high. It's not anything we're going to be really doing with Superman. Goes back kind of, you know, like that. You're not going to be doing that much with him except trying to put him in a flying pose. And that's really it. And, yeah, like I said, he doesn't really do that much, but you got the little ab crunch. That's going to help him out a little bit. But you're most likely going to have him facing forward. And this is that focused look. They kind of gave him like almost like a 5 o'clock shadow. Almost. It's almost like they were trying to go for the Superman 3 look. But not really. The Superman 3 look, he definitely has the darker suit. And he definitely has the more grumpier face. The grumpier face. But I'm definitely going to just keep this one on because he's determined in here. But I don't really need him to look. Ah, dog, I dropped your head twice. He doesn't really need to look that determined in my collection or in my setup unless we just have some type of toy photography thing going on. But yeah, that's his look. We're just going to go ahead and do the typical. Ooh. Don't forget to do a slight twist when you take some of this stuff off. Just slight twist. And this pops straight on because you've been in there the entire time. So that's why you're used to that. All right. So, yes, that is it, man. Oh. Overall, what do you think? Sorry. Came with a flight stand, which is highly appreciated. What do you think? I think this is a win. I think this is absolutely a win. I think he did it. This is a good look for Chris. It really does. He's got his nose, got his chin right there. His chin is, yeah, you see that right there. You got the little small dip in his chin. That's him. That is Chris. Let me see here. It is more pronounced on the figure, but that chin is there. It's there. Man, I'm so glad he did it. McFarlane did it. I would want to see him do a Brandon Routh Superman. I would like to see him do a Nicolas Cage Superman. I really would. I think those figures would do well because people would like to have a Nicolas Cage. It was crazy. I know for the 90s, we thought it was going to be, well, they thought it was going to actually work. It did not, of course. But it's something that we still wouldn't mind kind of seeing. I mean, they were going to have like what? Kung Fu polar bears and some other craziness or something like that going on. It was weird. But that suit, though, I would like to see it. I saw it in the comic book. On the comic book cover, they had what his suit was going to look like. And, of course, we've seen, like, Superman Lives, what could have happened. But I think we would have it would be nice to have that kind of figure of Nicolas Cage. And Brandon Routh, man, even though he got a Raw deal and I didn't like it that much, might as well go ahead and do that. Might as well. God, dog. So, yes, this is absolutely 100% cool. So I'm going to have him stand here. Actually, I'm going to have him posed on here. And I'm going to bring out the other Superman because I want to show you the other ones that I like. And hold on, I'll bring him out and then I'll go ahead and give you the size comparison to see how he compares to the others. One moment. All right, so I brought Henry out, and just to make a quick note, Henry Cavill, we know he got a Raw deal as well. And he's still goated. He is goated as only in look only. And, well, not look only, portrayal as well. But he didn't have a chance to truly be like the GOAT because of the Snyder storyline and Snyderversity. Yes, the Snyderversity, because he was taking way too long to tell this man's story. We should have had this man's story done way better. We could have had way more movies with this guy, and we would have had way more chances. People would have had way more chances to like him, or a better reason to like Henry and be like, yo, this is a Superman. This is my Superman. But, we didn't have that chance. But if you, of course, like Henry Cavill, go ahead and make sure you have on the physical copy, make sure you own the Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice garbage, Justice League, Snyder Cut, all of that stuff. Make sure you own all of that because that's all we got. That's all he was able to give us, man, because Snyder was taking too long. But anyway, we're going to move past that because we're talking about Christopher Reeve right now. So this is him and Hush, and they got this big plastic cape. I wouldn't mind him. I would say him do another version of the Hush figure with the cloth cape because that's really what he needs to do. Just focus on the cloth, which he is doing actually. But he can redo some of these figures in the cloth cape form. But him standing side by side, he is actually taller. Whoa. He is actually taller than the Hush because he's kind of hunched over. And that's rightfully so. He should stand above him. He really should because he is that Superman. Figuratively, standing above him and physically. I got this Tech Deck skateboard, which I'll have one of the Superman kind of stand on. I don't know. I'm just these skateboards are kind of growing on me. I don't know what I'm going to really do with all of them. So we're going to have you stand over here because you kind of fell on me. We're going to have Action Comics, and he is definitely standing taller than Action Comics because he's like, yo, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for what you've done for us. You have inspired us. You are the reason why we're being made. So there are Action Comics. Go ahead and paying respects to him. So we're going to go ahead and thank him that way. Let's see, have him stand over here. Don't fall, please. You're going to do it. You are not slick. Standing. Just stand here with Buddy Superman. All right, I'm not even going to pose him with Buddy Superman. Then we're going to have good old 90s super-powered whatever this thing was, where he had the whole electric power splitting up from red and blue. I still would like to have the red version of this guy, which is the platinum version, but the blue is just fine. I don't really need the red one, but if I do find him, it might come home with me. It just might. And then he is standing here, and he's like almost as tall. He's like, thank you so much for what you've done. I appreciate you. Welcome to the fold of figures in the McFarlane multiverse line. Thank you so much, sir. And here we are with him standing over there. Thank you so much. Appreciate this. Is another effect. I'll just leave that by his feet. And then there's another one I really enjoy. I like, this is my Fusion Ha Superman. That's a Dragon Ball Z joke. Fusion Ha, because this is him and Batman fused together. It's a platinum version because he has the whole translucent green legs, because they fuse together with the Green Lantern's ring and some other stuff. And yes, he's standing tall, standing above the guy. Thank you so much for your service. That's him and Batman saying thank you at the exact same time with the whole fusion deal. And you know what? I think I'm going ahead and take Henry off just so we can see how a movie version fit, because all of these are comic book versions. So let's see how a movie version fits or scales well with this guy. Oh, look like they are about the same. Yep, maybe that's just a movie touch, because they are about the same. And I have the hardest time trying to get this man to stand. There's something going on with his right leg. But there it is. We got the two that's the best to ever do it at the moment on film. That is. Right there. Big, muscular design with the whole armor and all of that. That's great. And this right here is where it all started in film. Man, coming right back down to this. This is so cool. God, dog. I hope he does do the other ones. Give Brandon Routh one and give Nicolas Cage one. That would definitely be a sought after one. Hope it's not a platinum, you know. Don't want to do that, especially if it's like a Walmart exclusive or something. I'm glad this wasn't. I definitely would have had my pre-order done though, but still, I don't fool with that. But yeah, this is, dang, man. The best Superman that we've had in our time, honestly. The one that could have had more of a chance, and this one who, I mean, from the get-go. Yeah, you may not have liked Superman 3. I get it. It was definitely a hokey, and with Richard Pryor, it was confusing, the mess I made. Like, is this supposed to be a comedy? Is he supposed to be funny in this? What's going on? He's a funny guy. I remember him being a funny guy as a kid, watching him in The Toy and some other movies. It was just weird. And then the whole Brainiac situation, ugh. But I am glad that they have a comic book version of Superman 78 right now, where he is, like, they had a storyline that shows you what would have happened in Superman 3, what was supposed to happen if they actually did the correct Brainiac story. And it's the same feel of the movie. It looks really nice. The artwork is fine. The writing is good. And I appreciate that storyline too. That's really cool. And then Superman 4, a lot of people give that a hard time, but I like Superman 4 because he actually had somebody to fight. That was my main issue. He had no one to fight in Superman 3. In 2, he fought 3 individuals. And of course, it was a product of that time where he had no fighting skills whatsoever. Then we get this guy like really just slamming Zod and so forth in destroying everything. And then we get Batman versus Superman. And then, of course, Justice League, where we get the fighting Superman. So we got this one, the symbol of hope. This one is showing you I'm trying to be a symbol of hope, but I got to fight. Right? And he had to fight more than one battle because he had to fight to stay alive because he kept getting fired. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Superman 4, he fought the sun guy, and it was hokey. It was one of the worst ones that people thought, you know, and there's some other politics behind it, but dude, 4 movies for this guy. This man only got 1 solo movie. Dang, but you got to have him in your collection. You got to have him, and you got to have him, and both of them standing side by side. Like, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for what you've done. And Henry Cavill, he would definitely be that person that will look Christopher Reeve in the eye, shake his hand, take a picture, and be like, man, if it wasn't for you, if it was not for you, I would not be able to do this. Thank you so much. He was such a fan of the material, such a fan, and that's the kind of actor you want. You want that fans actor where he is going to, or any actor, male or female, that's going to be the one that's going to stand for accuracy, making sure the character is done correctly, the story is done correctly, so forth and so on. And that was this dude. And Henry Cavill was taking on the same kind of zeal and fortitude that Christopher Reeve had. He wanted the story to be right. he was like that. He was that kind of actor. So I appreciate all of this stuff, man. This is so cool to have Henry and and Chris in the same vicinity. And there's Buddy Superman in the back right there. So we're definitely going to have this guy be on his flight stand because it is absolutely necessary to have the man who made us believe a man can fly being in a flight position. There's no way he can just stand there looking like anybody else. And I'll fix that, and then we'll get a final shot. Yeah, there's no way we can have this guy just standing here looking like a regular museum pose. Everybody else is standing in this one. I might even have him do the same pose, the waving pose. So we've got the friendly hand here. This is his. See, he's got like he does a salute or something on one of them. He does the wave. I got to go back and look at the movie and see exactly how he did it, which hand he did it with. But it's maybe, one of these hands he did it with. He just kind of salute. I'll probably have him standing with Captain America or something. I don't know, but I'm just happy about this. I'm geeking out. 1 minute. Let me get him on the flight stand. We can end this thing out. And there we have it, man. We've got good old Superman, good old Christopher Reeve, finally in the building, finally in the McFarlane universe. Oh, man, it took a long time coming, but we finally got him. I also have the other one, the Page Puncher version coming, so I'm happy to get that one. So when that comes, I'm definitely going to review him, and I will have 2 of them. I'm going to have one with the cell shading that actually goes with that 78 comic book that I was talking about. The actual figure that goes with that, and I'll have him that goes with the movie. So we got the movie version and the comic book version, because we didn't have a cartoon version of him except the one that was, the Ruby Spears version. That was somewhat similar. He never voiced it or anything, but it was piggybacking straight off of that. And I love that series because that thing did something that no other Superman series did. It gave you the first part of the show, him as Superman, his adventures and what have you. But the last 5 minutes, the glorious last 5 minutes of that show gave you his time in Smallville growing up. It was only 13 episodes, but it literally started from when he was a baby. 1 second. Sorry, I got interrupted. It literally started from when he was a baby and went all the way up through toddler, adolescent, high school, to him going away from the farm and becoming that reporter to actually become Superman on the last episode. Oh my gosh. If you ever have a chance to watch the Ruby Spears Superman, it's like Ken Ruby, Joe Spears Superman, I believe. The Ruby Spears Superman, they've done a lot of stuff, but that Superman show was so near and dear to my heart, and I have all the episodes. It is so cool, so beautiful. No other show has ever done like that, showing us the beginning stages of Superman in the same show. Wonderful stuff. Had the wonderful music that piggybacked off of the movie and all of that. Great stuff. So that's the end of my video. This is a really, really cool figure to have in your collection. Everybody should have this. Everyone who is a fan of Superman should have this. And I mean, as a form of paying respects to Superman or whatever you want to say, this is absolutely worthy to have in your collection. Get them as soon as you can. I hope you did your due diligence. My bad, I didn't mean to do that. Due diligence to pre-order this guy, because he is, I don't know where else you can get him. I really don't. I don't know what other store you can really go to get him right now, because he is out of stock. He got out of stock super quick, as he should, because it is the GOAT. So everybody, have fun collecting, man. Let me get this right. Final shot here. There we go. Final shot. Have fun collecting, folks, because collecting is fun. I'm out of here. Thank you.